We're live. That's what the words are saying on the screen. What's up, everybody? How's it going? Back now, going to some more Kadmonton Project goodness. Pleasure to be here. Thanks for hanging. Today, as the title portrays, I want to go through the timeline that adds a kind of foundational layering underneath everything that we are in touch with as the story progresses. So without further ado, let's throw down some timeline info to set our setting a little bit more clearly. We had the prologue yesterday. I'll read it again just because it's fun and I enjoy it. But ever since Prometheus gave us fire, we've been able to see the bars around us. Hey, what's happening, Sunshine Robin? Welcome to the stream. Thanks for hanging. I'm just now rereading the most recent iteration of the prologue, and then I'll go into the timeline of the story, giving it the set and setting as I wave my fingers around for the world that I am filling. That is very much like our own. So, ever since Prometheus gave us fire, we've been able to see the bars around us and the space between them if we choose to hold up a torch. That fire provides awareness of just how dripping with power we human beings are. What we can do with that awareness, once applied, is limitless. Happy you're here while I'm live. There's been a war going on about what to do about that fact ever since. One side says, let it rip, let them grow wild, let them reach higher heights than we ever could. Really quick question. I was reading this to my brother and he was like, hey, this is really cool. Let it rip sounds weird. And I don't disagree. It was, writing in the moment. If there is a phrase that you might consider to be a better option than let it rip, let them grow wild is the sentiment behind it. Let me know. I'm always open to suggestions. Anyway, one side says, let them rip, let them grow wild, let them reach higher heights than we ever could. Let them fall into all the traps that some are too eager to take advantage of. Another side says, prune heavy and often. Build systems and cells and lock them in. They're a premium resource. Put them to use. Generate harvests, maximize yields, keep them controlled and docile. Still, others watch. Some take what they can. A few help to provide a ladder, a shovel, a rock hammer toward a different option. The system is strong. The wardens run a tight operation. The guards are good at what they do. So good, most of us police ourselves. The program has stayed in place so far, but there have been holes poked through, cracks and weak spots created, tunnels dug. Throughout human history, accounts of contact, abduction, and influence from beings of light, fairies, angels, jinn, demons, underground ant people, gods of old, and other entities have been recorded. Secrets, systems, technology, and training have passed down through time from all sides, avoiding erasure while hoping to gain advantage. Now, a false fire, a smokeless fire, glows in every hand, on every desk, in every pocket. We stare into it for guidance, for comfort, for proof that we still matter. Until our eyes blur and our hearts dim. The cage became invisible the moment it became convenient. But the torch is still there, buried somewhere beneath the fatigue of endless optimization. The timeline marches on, and so too pressure and resistance builds. Points of interest in modern history. By AD 1300, universities in Salamanca, Bologna, Oxford, and Paris, among others, were blossoming. Awareness was growing. In the early 1340s, chroniclers from Germany, France, and Italy record sightings of hooded figures and supernatural mists emitting from long scythes, brooms, or swords held by them, passing through towns. Spraying down from flying comets or craft overhead in the dead of night, the plague was soon to follow. April 14th, 1561, Nuremberg, Germany. Residents saw what they described as some kind of aerial battle taking place in the skies, complete with erratic maneuvering orbs, crosses, cylinders, and the appearance of a large and mysterious black arrow-shaped object, with a crash landing on one of these vehicles somewhere beyond the city's limits. March 26, 1583. Magician John Dee and Edward Kelly receive an alphabet and implementation system to be used in communicating with supposed angelic beings, purportedly brought by the Archangel Uriel. Dee would take his insights from his Enochian workings to Queen Elizabeth, who would use them to aid in building her empire. Winter, 1777. Valley Forge, Pennsylvania. The Freemason and then General Washington, during a low point in the Revolutionary War, is deep in contemplative prayer. A gleaming woman in white appears and shows him a vision of America moving through 3 conflicts, the Union coming out on the other side of them, ultimately intact. New York on November 17, 1875, Helena Blavatsky, Henry S. Olcott, and William Q. Judge founded the Theosophical Society, focused on reigniting ancient wisdom, universal brotherhood, and human spiritual evolution beyond dogma. February 12, 1888, London. The esoteric secret society of the Golden Dawn emerges, with W. W. Westcott, S. L. McGregor Mathers, and W. R. Woodman as founders, offering graded initiation, ritual magic, and theurgy aimed at structured inner development. Its methods profoundly influenced 20th century occultism and ideas about consciously guiding human destiny. November 1896, California. Airships, commonly described as large, luminous craft and exhibiting unusual abilities in the sky, unknown for the technology of the time, were being sighted weekly. The wave spread quickly to states including Texas, Nebraska, Arkansas, and Michigan through 1897. November 1898, Aleister Crowley joins the Golden Dawn as an initiate under S. L. McGregor Mathers. In 1900, there's a schism in the society. Crowley and others are pushed out due to differing opinions on sharing secret knowledge. In Cairo, 1904, Crowley spends 3 days channeling an entity going by the name of Aiwass. The result is the Book of the Law and the prediction of the Aeon of Horus, a new age emphasizing self-realization, liberated sexuality, personal empowerment, and the overthrow of old religious and moral systems. In 1907, Crowley creates his own esoteric society, the AA, the Argentum Astrum, or the Order of the Silver Star, to spur along the Aeon of Horus. Across Britain, 1909, a large craft described as a cigar or torpedo shape fixed with searchlights moved at unusual speeds across the sky. Frequent reports came from East Anglia and South Wales, sometimes attracting hundreds as witnesses. The incidents concluded with reports from 1912 to 1913, further heightening public concern and causing official investigation. From 1915 through 1921, Rudolf Steiner presents a series of lectures in Switzerland, outlining the mystery of death, meaning of pain, destiny, and the evolution of the soul. The possibility of free moral thinking and action grounded in spiritual insight and self-knowledge, that the path to freedom goes through conscious development of intuition, individual responsibility, and ethical ideals. The 2 adversaries, the polarity of Lucifer and Ahriman, are as real spiritual influences. Lucifer inspiring premature spiritual exaltation, pride, and escapist mysticism. Ahriman hardening consciousness into materialism, literalism, and mechanization. He frames human development as learning to balance these extremes through the Christ impulse, which mediates between them. January 18, New York, Crowley engages in the Alamantra ritual and communes with a being calling itself Lamb. A layered and cryptic exchange occurs. Later, occult researchers piece together theories of Lamb as a gateway being, leading humanity toward experiences with threshold crossing, portals, and communication with non-human intelligence. In August 1819, the Thule Society is founded in Germany by Rudolf Freire von Sebottendorf. Excuse me, my German is not good. Nein. Emerging as a Volksgeist, V O with the umlaut, Lkisch, Verskisch. Anybody who knows German, definitely help me out. An occult group following World War I. Several founding members of the Nazi Party, like Rudolf Hess, Dietrich Eckart, and Alfred Rosenberg, were either members or associated with the Thule Society, which was obsessed with Aryan myth, paganism, and secret ritual. Excuse me. Drink break. July 1, 1935. An official Nazi investigation known as Ahnenerbe and run Ahnenerbe. 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 I write this stuff, but I don't say this stuff out loud often. Ahnenerbe, and run by Heinrich Himmler, executed archaeological, mythological, and occult-themed expeditions. Way back in 1935, they were running this stuff. 1942, Dachau and elsewhere, Nazi doctors performed mescaline drug experiments paired with hypnosis and personality splitting to study mind-altering effects and interrogate prisoners, laying the groundwork for later mind control research. From 1942 to 1945, during his time in Caltech and elsewhere, T. Townsend Brown receives messages from a secret group, frequently in dream, providing direction toward the achievement of exotic physics and anti-gravitic technology. In 1944, at secret SS facilities in Lower Silesia, near the Wenceslas mine, working experience on Die Glock, or the Nazi bell, an anti-gravity device, were being run. From September 20, 1945, at Fort Strong, Boston Harbor, all the way to 1959, more than 1,600 scientists, including Wernher von Braun, along with engineers and their families, were brought over to the U.S. from Germany under Operation Paperclip. What's happening, Brian? Yo, yo. Thanks for hanging. On July 16th, 1945, at 5:29 a.m. local time, the first atomic bomb was detonated during the Trinity test in the Jordana del Muerto desert near Alamogordo, New Mexico, United States. Thereafter, around the world, reports of UFO sightings, alien contact, and abduction would skyrocket, beginning to take hold in the press with Kenneth Arnold's flying saucer sighting, the Roswell, New Mexico crash reported in July 8, 1947, and the Aztec, New Mexico crash of March 25, 1948. The CIA was officially created by the National Security Act, which was signed into law on July 26, 1947, by President Harry S. Truman. From July 1945 to December 1946, Jack Parsons and L. Ron Hubbard enact a series of rituals known as the Babylon Workings, the goal being to facilitate the arrival of Crowley's new spiritual age, the Aeon of Horus, by bringing into the world, through a portal, a moonchild marked by liberated sexuality, the Aeon of Horus marked by liberated sexuality, the empowerment of the feminine, and the breakdown of previous religious and social constraints. Jack Parsons falls deeper down the well of occultism. L. Ron Hubbard absconds with Jack's money and former lover, leaving him to survive on society's margins. At the age of 37, in 1952, Parsons dies in a mysterious lab explosion. Some call it a suicide. I don't know. 1952, L. Ron Hubbard starts Scientology as a secular society after his 1950 release of the book Dianetics, The Modern Science of Mental Health. In February 1954, the Church of Scientology is founded. Project MK was officially approved on April 13, 1953, a behavior modification and mind control program run through the CIA with paperclip scientists. MK Delta made it operational. From it stemmed myriad projects, including MK Search from 64 to 72, furthering drug-assisted behavior modification and interrogation. MK Naomi, 1950s to the early 70s, the CIA working jointly with the Army in researching biological agents on crops, animals, enemies. Operation QK Hilltop, starting in 54, integrated Chinese brainwashing protocols to further overall effectiveness. That part I thought was pretty nuts, because apparently the Chinese, the Maoist brainwashing protocols were real effective. Manchurian Candidate, anybody? Operation Midnight Climax from 1953 to the mid-60s ran safe houses used for drug field interrogations, sexual blackmail, and observation. Yeah. What is that show? I think it's Project Bluebeam. It's a taught by the Russians. That's that. Thank you, Brian. Absolutely, yes. And that's one thing I do want to integrate more into. There's a lot that happens on the Soviet side during this time that has to do with like straight up psychokinesis and bioluminescence, the human biofield. There's a lot of stuff that happens over there that I don't have in this timeline. That is win more. It just adds a whole other layer of chocolatey goodness to the cake that we are baking here. But thank you. Yes. And it's good to know the audience that we have here is already tapped in. Thank you, Brian. Okay, where was I? Alien abduction was first introduced to the mass consciousness with the report of Betty and Barney Hill occurring September 19th and 20th in 1960. Reports would only increase. During the infamous multi-decade Andreasen affair, Betty Andreasen reports of the 1968 encounter during an abduction with blonde-haired, blue-eyed, tall, white, Nordic beings. They identified themselves as angels and their gray servants as watchers. During Travis Walton's experience on November 12th, 1975, he reports gray alien drones along with taller human-looking beings. In the skiff, oh goodness, Area 52, Chris, I can't remember what his name is, great podcast where he interviewed Travis Walton, where he talks about it. He's like, yeah, and I bumped into this guy who looked like a human. He didn't say anything to me, but he kind of looked irritated and walked me out. Trippy, to say the least. Researcher Carla Turner points out that tall whites are often seen in supervisory roles alongside grays. From an account originally occurring in 1954, page 12 of her book, Taken, Inside the Alien Human Abduction Agenda, quote, Pat turned around and saw several taller white entities coming into the bedroom. As it coalesced, Pat saw in the midst of the light a figure which she perceived as blonde-haired, blue-eyed Jesus in a resplendent robe. He took Pat's right hand and said, "Do not be afraid, my child. These are mine," gesturing to the beings who were standing all around the room. 5 of the taller whites were around her stepfather's bed, and they all seemed to be examining one of his atrophied legs, the result of polio. Pat recalled sitting on a table in a room with the Greys present. A taller white came over with a file-type instrument, like a nail file type instrument, and scraped skin from her inner forearm. At least that's what I'm interpreting as. What do you need all those pieces of me for? Keep in mind she was 12 at the time, I believe. Or no. Yeah, this is Pat. Yeah, no, she wasn't. 1954. She was a kid. I don't know if she was 12. But it was from page 12. Anyway, a taller white came in with a file-type instrument, scraped skin from her inner forearm. Weird, to say the least. Of all the things you could, what? Excuse me. Weird. She says, "What do you need all those pieces of me for?" she asked. They replied, "We are making a new you," the entity replied. "Are you an angel?" Pat inquired. "Yes," the entity told her, "but not like the ones you have been taught." From 1972 all the way to 1995, the CIA ran remote viewing research, training, and operations, first at Stanford Research Institute, then an office with projects Grill Flame, Center Lane, Sunstreak, and the Stargate Project. In the mid-1970s, 1975 through 1977, a prominent remote viewer and founder of coordinate remote viewing, Ingo Swann, is taken to an underground facility and asked to remote view a set of coordinates. After reporting what he saw, he discovers the location is on the dark side of the moon. His reporting on the experiences includes artificial structures, domes, obelisks, machinery including tractor-like vehicles, roads, bridges, humanoid beings, some unclothed and male, excavating lunar craters, non-natural light, a thin, breathable lunar atmosphere, and surface water. Some of these humanoid beings became aware of him while remote viewing. These beings forcibly, through psi ability, pushed him away from the location he was viewing. Later, Swann would report feeling watched and a psychic interference from these beings. Swann believed the moon was a hub for non-human intelligence, possibly using dimensional technology and psychic warfare hidden from conventional perception. Throughout the Cold War and to this day, declassified reports reveal both the USA and USSR, now Russia, had frequent orb and UFO sightings near military bases during equipment transportation and around nuclear facilities. With the publication of Liber Null in 1978, Peter J. Carroll introduces chaos magic to the world, synthesizing earlier occult practices from secret societies, adapting techniques from Austin Osman Spare, focusing on experimental, results-based practices distinct from what has come before it. Between 1983 and 1986, the Hudson Valley UFO wave was seen by thousands across New York and Connecticut. Spectacular sightings of boomerang or V-shaped craft, some as big as a football field, careened silently through the sky. Some witnesses, like John Burroughs and Jim Penniston, claimed to see beams of light and a craft that appeared to dematerialize or vanish silently. Between November 1989 and early 1990, hundreds of witnesses, including police officers and military personnel in Belgium, saw large triangular crafts with bright lights. Rua, Zimbabwe, 1994. 62 children at a rural school reported seeing a landed UFO and humanoid beings. The event attracted the attention of Harvard psychiatrist Dr. John Mack. By 1995, 14% and growing of the US population had access to the internet. More people now have access to more pieces of the puzzle. Dolly, the first cloned sheep, was born July 5, 1996. In December 2002, Clonaid claimed the first human clone. July 2019, Oak Ridge National Laboratory, Tennessee. Leah Broussard leads a team to oscillate neutrons to test for a parallel mirror universe. Rumors circulate of a portal opening during the experiment. Rumors of CERN opening a portal on July 5th, 2022, spread online like wildfire. It's 2026. The U.S. has held multiple hearings on UAPs and non-human intelligence. Sightings of drones appear in waves over airports and military bases the world over, then disappear with no explanation and no retaliation. The media industry, along with most institutions, have lost all credibility. AI has us questioning if anything we see is real. The economy is in flux, to put it mildly. There's a technological and consciousness revolution just over the horizon line. Yeah, I agree, Brian. Yes. First reported. First, they're going to tell us. Analyst's addendum. Yes, encrypted. Every epoch marks a rehearsal. The university for thought, the plague for fear, the machine for obedience. Each wave leaves residue in the human code. The next one will decide whether that residue becomes resistance. Dong, dong, dong. So that's the timeline, right? That's the just gives you a nice smattering of stuff that has been going on. It's still going on. You know, I mean, back in the 90s, we were getting like, oh, we're cloning sheep, and we're able to do all sorts of stem cells. There were a whole bunch of stuff was, and then all of a sudden, it kind of quieted up. Yes, hardcore Brave New World. We will love our servitude. Absolutely. Is there anything? So I thank you very much. I'm going to note that right now. Add more. This is our research timeline. Anything else that you can think? Oh, hey, Brave New World itself. And Aldous Huxley's Doors of Perception. I mean, I want to add all this stuff in for sure. I don't want to overload the reader at the beginning, though. But I want it in there because it does. How many people are cloned right now? Oh, hey. Oh. Well, so I rewatched the movie The Island recently, which deals with this very thing. It's this underground massive bunker that a business front faces is saying, hey, we have this new technology to grow any piece of you or save you from anything that age related that might happen. We can basically keep you alive forever. But what they're really doing is cloning the very people that they're claiming they're going to insure, so that they can chop up the clone or experiment on them to find the solution to help the actual person. Women use it to have babies with their clones so they don't have to carry their baby with them. Yes, it is fascinating and terrifying. That movie, that was fun. And I had forgotten the end of the movie. Spoilers. I've never seen the movie Brazil. Is that worth it? Is that a good movie? I mean, it's referenced, yes, as the like first visualization of the Brave New World. All right, I'll check it out. Thank you for the recommends, Brian. I appreciate that. Yeah, I need more. I need all of the good sources that I can get that we all respond to with our spidey senses. The more people can go, oh, I've heard about that. Oh, that. Oh. The more I think naturally we'll be more inclined to go, well, what is this story about if it is referencing this interesting info? That's my plan. We are at the moment a mix of Brave New World and 1984. Yeah. It feels like we're on this kind of edge. I mean, and that's why I toss out 2026 by saying we're at this edge of a technological and consciousness revolution. You see it, and once you see it, right, you can't unsee it. It's there. It's Greg Carlwood, the host of the Higher Side Chat, said something really good. He was like, if you look at it as two teams, when one person leaves the team of like normie society and is like, hey, wait a minute, they don't ever really go back. They may talk themselves out or down from whatever rabbit hole they may be peering into. They may go along and deny themselves what they had exposed themselves to, but they have been changed. And that will carry with you forever. You can never go back. What's in the Matrix? I can never go back, can I? No. But if you could, would you really want to? I mean, Cypher, I guess. That steak looked delicious. The way, oh man, food in movies when they do it right, The veil has been pulled back. Yes, for those who have their eyes up and their torch ready, the veil is like, oh my God, are you kidding me? I mean, I watch a lot of interesting finance videos and crypto videos, current events videos. I try to get as much info as I can on the happenings and what might be coming around the bend. And the consensus is the age is over. The age of Western dominance, of the petrodollar, of us saying, what did you say? You're not going to do it our way? Thumb on the button. Like that's over. The unipolar world is over. And this idea that's being, kind of slipped in a little bit at a time, but it's happening, is that we're moving from the petrodollar. Yes, a stalled century, absolutely. Petrodollar shifting into the stablecoin world where treasuries are just going to be the world over, being transacted every second. And so there's, liquidity will just be flooded. Yeah, same scripts, absolutely. And there is an end game to that. It's just kicking the can down the road. A stalled century, thank you for saying so, Brian, I agree. And the Century of the Self, a multi-part documentary about Eddie Bernays and propaganda and the effect that it has had on this century, which they call the Century of the Self, where this attention is all about trying to appease the self by finding it outside yourself. Buying shit. What you want, what you need is right here for $99.95. Only 4 easy payments. And Jerry Seinfeld actually has a great talk about ads and how he's like, ads are actually the best. They make you feel the best. They're better than any kind of form of entertainment because they set you up with the expert level of happy expectation. You want that thing that you just saw, that these obnoxious hoodie ads on YouTube. You want that hoodie. Ooh, that hoodie will make you feel warm and more manly. And you got all these pockets. Oh my God, what am I going to do? Put all these, what things can I put in all these pockets? I can go anywhere, take anything with me. Bring back the digital camera. Like, but that expectation is, in some sense, a kind of spell being put upon you to have you think, oh, what I need is there outside of myself. And that has never been true. Never really. More stalling with the same celebrities, same remade movies, same countries at war. What are they stalling for? I happened to catch the most recent South Park episode with Peter Thiel and him knowing about the Antichrist. What's that all about? What is Peter Thiel going around talking about the Antichrist? I have not watched much on the talks. What I have surmised from others talking about it is that he's saying, hey, we need to not put rails or guards around AI at all, because if we do that, that will usher in the Antichrist. And I don't know how he gets from guardrails on AI to Antichrist, which is, I guess, why I need to watch his talk. But yeah, what are we waiting for? Showing us the world is normal, nothing to see, while at the same time changing the world in front of our eyes. Yeah, but is it working anymore? I don't think it's working that much. I agree with you. The machine just keeps churning up, and another thing, another salacious event, another crazy explosion, another terrorist event, another outrage. Well, yes, I think that we are complacent, but I don't think it's a defeated complacency. I think it is a complacency baseline by being burnt out. The sheer overload of information and the asks every second of how do you feel about this? How do you feel about that? Are you enraged about this? Are you on this team or that team? Where do you stand? No laws that benefits the people. Oh yeah, well, let's say we're at that point where the shit that was here before us is not working anymore. Everybody is still playing the game, but I continuously see video after video of people saying, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done. This doesn't make sense. How is this life? And I myself have certainly felt that the modern path of the average Western person is devoid of true depth, exploration, meaning, and story. It's frightening. And I think that on a subconscious level, we all feel that. And a lot of the reaction is that initially that feels like a steep mountain to climb to see what the hell is actually going on. So people go, fuck it. What's on TV? I've done that. Everybody's, I think, had those moments. That's how they'll get the youngsters into the meta world and get stuck in the digital. Oh man, I narrated a book called Individutopia, which talked about a dystopian futurist London where everybody was locked into a pod. They had a feeding tube like a hamster, and they would be immersed in virtual environments where they would do gig work, moving shit around or cleaning up rich people's homes. Oh yeah, hardcore soul trap. But you see it. Anybody that clicks on my stuff even for a second sees it. Guaranteed. And there are far better videos out there that are getting far more views where people see it. You see it. We see it. And I think the very fact of our attention being that aware pushes back against this continuous assault on us. It's not working anymore. And like in the beginning of the prologue, the bars become invisible as soon as they become convenient. It's not convenient anymore for damn near anybody. And this book is in part a way to expand awareness and show people that they are far more empowered than the system wants you to believe. And you're yeah. Views don't equate to success. You're absolutely the fact that you are here and we are able to go back and forth. To me, this is, I mean, this is tight, right? This is a good way to spend an evening for a little bit. I don't know how much longer I have. I'm making potatoes, so when it dings, I got to sign off. Just as a heads up, I can smell them. I know it's soon. Well, I mean, this is certainly a very ragtag way of going about running through my book. And I appreciate you being here. And I'm not advertising it yet. Hey, this is great. Like seriously, I cannot appreciate you enough for hanging and going back and forth with me. It's a pleasure to go back and forth with people who are willing to engage at any legit level with this information. And it doesn't have to be deep, but if you're willing to engage with it, I think that, again, that alone is going to push back against this system. Well, thank you, Sunshine Robin. It is a pleasure to have you here as well, and a pleasure to enjoy that compliment of you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Anything in particular that makes your spidey senses tingle, Sunshine? Anything at all that you would want to be explored in a story that addresses information within that timeline that I just laid out? Is there anything that you're like, no, that's weird. No, I don't want to. Or is there something, I want to know more about that? Those are the two people in my head. Oh, that's weird. I don't know. That's interesting. We go back and forth often, especially when it's groceries time. Do I want that cheese? Oh, I don't know. It looks good. Let's try it. That red wine cheese at Trader Joe's is pretty tasty. What else? They got a rosemary and olive oil one. Oh, okay. There go my potatoes. Hey, you can tell I'm hungry. I'm talking about cheese. Peace and love. I'll be back tomorrow. Thank you for hanging. I will see you. I'll catch you on the next one. Well, cool. Come back for more. Dinner time. Peace, everybody.